Okay, so I will just turn off my camera to make sure that my internet will stay stable for you. So I know that you guys have a different background, so today's session may sound like very easy for some of you and basic, but new for others, so just bear with them. So let me just first share my screen. Micheal, can you see my presentation?
Yep,
Okay,
but
cool.
not on the presentation mode. Maybe
All
you
right.
want to, yeah.
Cool. Thank you. So in today's session, I will be introducing you to the shell world. We will see what is a common shell and why would we use one. So basically, the shell is a program where you can type comments. Its primary purpose is to read comments and run other programs. So basically, using the shell will take some efforts and some time to learn. So just take your time. It's fun to learn. You must learn few comments like new vocabulary in a language you're studying. However, unlike a spoken language, a small number of words gets you a long way. So we'll cover those essential few today. So the most popular Unix shell is called Bash, which is the default shell on most modern implementation of Unix and in most packages that provide Unix-like tools for Windows. The command line is often the easiest way to interact with remote machines. So I guess let's start with live coding because I believe this is the best way to learn. I will just leave my presentation and open my terminal. So I will show you how to open your terminal. All right. So you go to your search box and you just type terminal or dispatch or any program that you are using. For me, I'm using like kind of a program called Mobaxter. I will just open it. And here you go. So you get this black screen, which is your terminal. When the shell is first open, you are presented with a prompt indicating that the shell is waiting for your input. So for me over here, I don't have this dollar symbol in my program, but basically the shell typically uses the dollar sign as the prompt, but you might use different symbols. Do not type the prompt, only the comments that follow it. Also note that after you type a comment, you have to press the enter key to execute it. So basically the prompt is basically followed by a text cursor, which is this one, a character that indicates the position where your typing will appear. And the cursor is usually a flashing or solid block, but it can also be underscore or a pipe. So let's start our first comment and try it. So I will just type the ls command, which stands for listen. And this command will list the contents of the current directory where you are right now. So here you go. So for me, in my home directory, I have these files and directories. So in case I type, for example, by error KS, so I will get an error message. So basically the shell will communicate with you and tell you if your comment is correct or not. So don't worry about this. So does someone has any questions so far? All right, cool. So now I will show you how you can move around your computer and how you can see what files and directories you have, how you can specify the location of a file in your computer. So basically, several commands are frequently used to create, inspect, and rename or delete your files and directories. So let's start exploring them. So the first one called the PWD, which stands for print working directory. So this one will show us our current working directory. And the directories is like places. So knowing where we are before running a command is very important. So when I type PWD in my computer, so I'm on my home MOVAX term. So, okay. So typically, when you open a new command prompt, you will be in your home directory to start. Now let's learn the command that will let us see the content of our file system. So we can see what's in our home directory, as I mentioned, by running the ls command, as I mentioned before. And then this will print the names of the files and directories in my current directory, and we can make it the output more comprehensible by using some options or flags. So I will use the flag -f. So ls minus capital F. I will hit enter. And this one will just tell me like the classification of my files and directories, indicating what these files are, either a directory by giving me this trailing, or a link when you have the @ symbol, or indicates an executable file where you have the start symbol. So now if I want to just to clear my terminal, I can just type the clear command. But before of that, I want to just tell you that depending on your default option, the shell might also use the colors to indicate whether each entry is a file or directory, like this one. So you might have the blue and the green or other colors just to distinguish between your files, directories, and subdirectories. So now I will just clear my terminal, type clear and hit enter. Here we go. So now in case you have, for example, a comment and you want to know what stands for and what are the options that are on these specific comments. So you can use either help to check like the specificities of this comment. Depends if you have the Mac or the window, but typically the man works for Mac and help typically works for Gitbatch. For me, the one that works is man. So I will try the man with the ls command. So if I type man and then the ls command, it will give me basically a description and all what I need to know about the specific command. So to quit this man page, I will just need to press the Q button. All right. So do you guys have any questions so far? And I hope you are opening your terminal same time with me, so you can just, try to handle all of these comments and see if you have any question or any struggle with them.
Now I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
The man.ls is the opening the manual for the terminal. Is that what it is?
The ls, no. ls will list you all the files and directories you have in your working directory. So
All right,
if I type the ls, you can see what I have in my laptop, like all the files and directories. Mm-hmm.
And the man that you added before then?
So the man is basically helping you to see what is the specificity of each command. For example, when I type the man and then I type the ls command or any other command that we will see later on, it will tell me what stands for, what is like the description of this one, what will do, what is the options that I can use, or the flags that I can use aside with this specific command.
Okay, I understand.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Any other questions? All right, cool. So now I will show you how we can create these files and directories, how we can copy and delete files and directories and edit them as well. So now let's first go to, I assume you have all downloaded the shell lesson data file. Please, if you didn't do that, just let me know so we can all have it and go at the same time. Okay, let me just show you. So let me just first see. So the first ever comment that you have to type is the PRD, which stands for our current working directory. So we need to know where we are currently. So I will type it. And then I need to look for my shell lesson data file. So I will just type the ls. For me, I have just put it on the desktop. Okay. So for me, I have just put it on the desktop. So when you wanna just to go through every file or a specific file, you can just type the command cd to change and change through your files and directories. So for me, I want to go through the desktop directory. So I will just type cd and then d. So I will show you quick trick. So if you don't want to type the whole name of your file or directory, you can just type the first 2 or 3 letters and you hit the top button, and then it will auto-complete the name for you. So no need to type the whole name by yourself. I will hit enter. And then, as I mentioned, just to see what I have inside my desktop, I will type the ls command. And then I want to search for my shell lesson data. So I will use the cd, as I mentioned. So each time I want to go inside a file or directory, I will type the cd command. So cd, and then the name of our file directory is the shell. I will hit the tab button and it will autocomplete the name of my file or directory for me. So I will hit enter, then press the ls again to see what I have inside. Yes, so this is our file. I hope that everyone has this specific file, the shell lesson data.
I've shared the link to the dataset, just in case anyone has not downloaded the data.
Okay, if you all guys have this specific file, I think we can just carry on. If no, you can just, stop me at any time or ask Micheal. So let's just type the ls -f. So this option that I showed you before. All right. So now let's create a new directory called thesis using the command mkdir. So mkdir stands for like making a new directory. mkdir for making a new directory or new file as you want. So mkdir and then thesis. I will hit enter, and then I will type the ls to see if this specific directory has been created. Okay, so here's it. So I have successfully created the thesis directory. So now, you guys all have created this directory under your shell lesson data file? Hello? Michael, I can't see the chat box, so please, if someone type anything.
Yes, I'm checking out the chat. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, for sure.
So before I carry on, I wanna you all guys to create the specific directory. So if you did just put yes on the chat box or bring in the green button, so we know that you have completed this specific first step.
Yeah, so comments coming in, all good so far, almost completed.
All right, awesome. So let me just clear my terminal. So since we have just created this directory, it will be empty. So we didn't put anything inside. So now let's see, note that the mkdir is not limited to creating single directories, just so you this once at a time. But for example, if we type the -p option, it will allow the mkdir to create a directory with a nested subdirectories in a single operation, just to gain some time in case you want to do that. So for example, I will just type mkdir, sorry, the -p option, and then, for example, let me call my subdirectory project, and then my data, and then create another one called results inside this project. Then I will hit enter. So basically, let me go to this one. So this one will create another directory called data, and inside this data, I will have the does anyone want to say anything? All right, I will take this as a no. So let us go to the data directory that we just created. Okay, we'll type the ls command as usual. Okay, there is not. All right. Oh, sorry. Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. So let me just clear my terminal. All right. So for we have different options, as I mentioned. So for the R option is used with the ls command, and we'll list all the nested subdirectories within a directory. So let us use this ls -fr to recursively list the new directory so that we have just created, and we'll see them. Sorry. So the ls -fr project. Oh, there's no such file or directory. Let me check what was the problem, why we didn't get these subdirectories under our project directory. Okay. these things might happen. So it's good to see it in there right now. So ls cd. Okay, in case I want to get back to the shell lesson data, because in this data directory that I have just created, there is nothing. And I want to check why the subdirectories didn't get or created in this specific directory. So I want to get to the root, which is the shell lesson data. To do so, all what we need to do is to type the cd command, which stands for change. And then I will get back to the previous directory by typing 2 dots. The first, so these two will just put me like one line above like the directory where I am right now. So if I type the cd dot dot, it will take me to the shell lesson data again, to the root. All right. Oh, yes. Here's the project. So cd project ls. All right, here we go. Finally, I found my subdirectory. So I have created the result subdirectory under the project directory. All right, cool. So I hope that I didn't just, confuse you guys by all of this, but it's nice to have some errors. By this way, you guys can see that we might do some errors, and from them we can learn. So do you have any questions so far before starting creating text file? All right, I will take this as a no. So let's get back to our lesson data. As I mentioned, I will just type the cd command dot dot to get back to the lesson data. Type the ls to see what I have exactly. All right. So now let's change our directory to thesis using the cd, then run a text editor called Nano to create a file called draft.txt. So let me type the cd, and then as I mentioned, you just type the first two letters and you hit the tab button. It will also complete the name for you. All right, I'm there. And then I will type the Nano draft.txt, and I will hit enter. So when we say Nano is basically a text editor, we really do not mean text. It can only work with a plain character data, not the table or image or any other human-friendly media, but we use it in examples because it is one of the least complex text editors. And many programmers use, for example, Emacs or Vim or graphical editors, for example, like Edit on Windows, or you wish to use, for example, the Notepad. So now let's type in a few lines of the text, and once we're happy with our text, we can press the Control O. So let me just, for example, type hello, everyone.
Yes.
Sorry, can you repeat the process of opening the Nano text editor?
Okay, I will do that. So as I mentioned, so the Nano is basically kind of a text editor. It's like you open Word in your window. So to do so, you just need to type Nano and then type the name of your specific file that you wanna create. You can name it as you want, but for us, we will just name it draft.txt. You can name it, I don't know, any name you want. So as I mentioned, I will just call it draft.txt, but you can call it any other name you want. Then hit enter, and it will open for you. Is it fine?
Yes, it opened.
Okay, cool, awesome. So now you can type any text you want. So just to see how it works, so I will just type anything. For example, hello, everyone. And then when you just finish like typing your text over here and you wanna save what you have wrote, you just press the control button and then O, control button and then O. Then you hit enter. Just the control button, O, and then hit enter. Then if you want to execute from this or exit or quit this Nano editor, you just press Q button. All right. Sorry. So I will do it again for you guys. So let me just first check that I have created the draft file. So if I press ls command, I have it already. So let me just open it again for you. So Nano, and then draft. There you go. So I will change the text again, type anything else. Hi. World. And then Control O to just write our data to the text. And this way it will just save our writing. So Control O, then hit enter, and then Control X to execute. And then we'll hit, you have here to save the modification, you have just either yes or no. You can type the Y or the N to either save your modification or cancel them. So I will hit the Y button, and then I will click on the Q. Oh my God, sorry. And then hit enter, and it will just let you quit the Nano editor. Hello? So does anyone had any problem using the Nano editor text? All right. So let me now clear my terminal. Get back to the shell lesson data. As I mentioned, by you typing the cd command and then ... to get back to my previous directory. So now in our thesis directory that we have a file called the draft text, which isn't a particularly informative name. So let's change the name using the MV, which stands for move, like just moving the name from draft to, for example, code. So I will type the MV comment, then this is hit enter to just autocomplete the tab button to autocomplete the name for me, and then draft. Then I will move it to thesis codes dot txt. Just trying to change the name. Okay, now let's type the ls command. Go to thesis, ls again. So those are the most used ones. So you will always use the cd, the ls command, the pw. So those are the basic ones. Okay, here we go. So we have created this one. So the first argument tells the MV what we're moving. So while the second is where it is going basically to go. So in this case, we're moving the this is draft text to this is code. This is what we did actually here. So we have moved the draft txt from the we have moved the this is draft txt to this is code .txt, which has the same effect as renaming the file. So ls show us that this is now contains one file called codes.txt, which is this one. So when we type ls, so we made sure that we have just one file called codes.txt. So one must be careful when specifying the target file name. So this MV will silently overwrite any existing file with the same name, which could lead to data loss. So an additional option, which is the MV-E or the MV interactive, can be used to make MV ask you for your confirmation before overwriting. So please note that MV also works on directories. So now let us move codes.txt into the current working directory. So we use MV once again, but this time we'll use just the name of the directory as the second argument to tell the MV that we want to keep the file name, but put the file name somewhere new. So let me just put the MV. This is and then code. All right. So here I don't need to write that this is because I'm already in this directory. So all what I need to do is to write. I need actually to get back to my lesson data. And make sure that all my files are there. All right, so in this case, the directory name using is the specific directory name dot that we mentioned earlier. So we will just type the MV. This is hit the tab enter, the tab button, and then the code. Right, and then dot. So as I mentioned, the directory name using this specific directory name is the dot. All right, so the effect is to move the file from the directory it was in the into the current working directory. So now ls will show us that this is empty. So ls complete. Yeah, so now it's empty, there is nothing. So we have moved already the code. This is from the this is directory. So alternatively, we can confirm that the file codes.txt is no longer present in the thesis directory by explicitly trying to list it, as I mentioned over here. And yeah, so let me just clear my terminal before carry on. So do you guys have any problems so far before moving to copying and moving other files and directories?
On my side, I don't see the thesis one, but I see the exercises and the one that ends with what's that one? The GYRE, the North Pacific GYRE.
Okay, I can just stop sharing and maybe you can share with us your screen.
Oh, okay. Let me just share my screen.
Okay.
Just a moment.
Mhm.
Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. I downloaded because this one to me it didn't go to desktop. It just went to downloads. Therefore, I CD into downloads. Therefore, I unzipped the file. In the unzipped file, then I have this one. The exercise data and the North Pacific.
Yeah, for the thesis we have created in this session. Remember
Oh,
when?
oh,
Yeah.
the MKDIR
Yes,
session.
exactly.
Oh,
Make
okay.
it new directory.
Okay, let me make it here. Can I
Uh-huh.
make it here under the lesson data?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
All right, cool. So
Sure.
now you have it and you can go through all the, the different steps that I showed you to create the code.txt and draft.txt and using the Nano editor.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. I can help you with that later on. We can
Okay,
even
no.
go to a break-in room and go through all the steps together again. It's fine.
Okay, we will go together.
Sure.
Yeah. Now let me just stop sharing.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Perfect. Let me just carry on. So now returning to the shell lesson data directory. So now let's tidy up this directory by removing the code.txt file we created. And the Unix command we'll use for this is rm, which stands for remove. So if we type this rm and then code, and then I will hit enter. Now to confirm that we have removed this file, I just type the ls and code. See, there is no such file or directory. So we have successfully removed the specific file. Does anyone else have any questions so far? All right. So I will take this as a no. Now we will move to the pipes and filters with Micheal, but during the break or just before that or at any time we can just go like one or like small group to a breaking rooms. If some people have any problems or want to go through the whole different steps again with me, I can do that with you.
Yes, Chaimea. I mean, I think the breakout room is a good idea because we're not even on top of the hour.
Mhm.
Yeah. but I can see options of having breakout rooms. I don't know what is RIN.
Yeah, so I think the first thing we should know if some people want to go to breakout rooms, if they have any problems that need help.
Issues so far, yeah.
If just there is just one person or two, I can handle that. Or just give them some time to do that by themselves again.
Mhm.
And then if they have any question or any issues, we can help.
Yeah, for sure. So we do this in the next, it's now 10:35 my time, so that would be 9:35. So we start 10 South African time pipes.
Mhm.
And then we can just, what do? We don't want people to also leave and say, oh, I don't know. Do we have any questions? Someone maybe has been left behind. At least we can attend to that in the next 20 minutes. Otherwise, we can just take a 10 minutes break and just go on with the schedule if there's no any issues.
Yeah, I think that everyone is good so far. That's why people on the chat box. So just give them 5 minutes. Some of them are almost completed, so almost done. So we just give them 5 minutes and then you can, or we can go on 10 minutes break and then you can start. That's fine.
Exactly, because I can see in the chats, most comments are all good so far.
Mhm.
No issues, nothing so far. Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
so
we-
let's take a 10 minutes break and then we reconvene at 10:45. And that would be 9:45. That's cool.
Yeah, that's perfect. Guys, I will be here. So in case someone needs anything, you can ask.
Cool. See you guys in 10 minutes.
All right.
Hello. Hello, everybody. I hope everyone is back. So maybe a thumbs up on your participants list. Go to participants and then just give me a reaction, either thumbs up to just confirm we're all back. Yes, thank you, Zide. A bit more thumbs ups. Yep, Evelyn, thank you. Yeah, I'm checking at the participants list. Maybe if we can get a few more so that we can proceed. Kinsley Otto von Bismarck, awesome. All right, I will kick it off by sharing my screen. So you can all see my screen, right? And yeah, Chem?
Yes, we can.
And if I swap, you can see the terminal?
Yes.
Ah, awesome, awesome. And now what do you see?
Your presentation.
My presentation, awesome. So, all right, so I will start by sharing pipes and for loops, letter for loops. And just something to note is that if something is not clear, just stop me, just shout and unmute yourself and just try or write to the chat, and Chaimea can check the chat for me. Yeah, and so we will start by pipes. So just to ask ourselves like this question, how can I combine existing commands to doing a new thing? And so when you're thinking about these, pipes always come into our mind. And this is normally a sign right in above your enter button, this key up here. And so before we can learn about this, we will talk about a few commands, WC, that counts lines, words, and characters. We'll introduce ourselves to cut command that displays contents of the input. We will try and sort or filter our inputs however we like, and then try to view using head to display the first 10 lines. And then if you want to display the last line of your input using tail. And then we'll also have a test of how to redirect commands into an output and how to append using this sign here, two greater signs. And lastly, now we will now learn the pipe command. And so when you're doing your analysis, every time you'd have a couple of files. So one of the questions probably you want to think about is which of these files contain the fewest line. So in our case today, we're going to use the folder proteins in our shell lesson. And for it having only 6 files, it's easy to answer this question. But assuming if you have more than 100 files in your folder and you want to like answer this question of what are the few lines in my directory, or rather in the files inside my directory. So before we tackle this question, and of course at the end of this presentation, we'll be able to answer this question by the commands that we're going to learn today. So before this, we will go back to our terminal. And as I said, we'll be working. So we have learned about PWD. And so the lesson data for my case is this. Can I zoom it again? Is it okay? Is it visible enough? Anyone please say something?
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. So my shell, I'm in the shell lesson directory, and I want to go to exercise and then the protein. So if we ls that we've learned, we have these files here, the 6 files I was talking about, and all these are PDB files to mean protein data, files that are from protein database. So these are protein files. For those who have learned bioinformatics, you know that we have proteins, we have nucleotides, and this is how we save our proteins. And so we've listed, and one of the commands from the content that I shared is the first command is we want to list the number of counts. So word count, that is WC, and say everything that has, so you put a star for everything that ends with an extension PDB, protein data bank. And then we see all the files, the 6 files. And so the first number here is normally the lines in this file, all right? Followed by the number of words inside this file and the characters in the file. So this is always from left to right. But really, from our questions, again, we're interested in the lines, all right? And as Chama has also mentioned, it is always good when it's your first time when you're dealing with a command. Just read the help page of it so that you can really understand whatever, like what it needs as an input, yeah? So we are going to read this. We can have that later on. So if we say we want to just check out the lines of each file that ends with PDB. So that's not found because I give it a bad extension. So these are the lines, and then at the end, it will give you the total number of all these files. All right, so I see these charts. Oh, sorry, I will slow down. Thank you for that comment. Okay, now we have the lines, the number of lines for each file. So what we want to do is we want to try and save all these lines into a file that is called lengths.txt, all right? So what we do, normally when you're handling your commands and you want to be lazy, you use the arrow button on your farthest right to give you the previous command. You don't want to type everything every time. So we want now the output of this, all right, to be saved to a file called lengths.txt. And now I've introduced the redirect command. I will share more just shortly. So if I hit enter and then now I list, I see there's a new file here called length. Let's try and look what is inside the length file. So what I do is I use a command called cut lengths, all right? And if I hit enter, it gives me the output that was above here to our length file, all right? So we have the output of that. And so just to mention about reading files, so first we've learned about cut. So what cut will do is try to give the contents of a file. But most of the times you find other people will use the other command called less, all right? And so what less does, it will give you each page at a time, assuming, and you can use Q to exit the less command. So both these commands would have advantages and disadvantages. For example, because cut from the word concatenate, it will try to give you the output of a file page by page concurrently, connecting, like joining it at once, all at once. So assuming if you have a file that has 1,000 lines, you don't want to use cut because that means what will happen to your terminal is just a lot of content. But when you're having a file that has more lines, you want to see the file page by page, and so you use the word less. Yeah, most of these commands are always intuitive, trying to, if it's less, you want to see what is less in a file. So it's more, the commands are normally more intuitive. You don't have to cram everything. Yeah. So I will pause a bit to ask if there's any questions. And hoping now I'm a bit slow, Sakori. Yeah, yes, no, maybe. Let me check the chat.
Yes,
Yes.
they are seeing it.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I will swap back and go to the presentation. So we want now to think about filtering our output and trying to sort them using the sort command. So still in the still in this folder, so PWD, just to confirm we're in the protein, and I will clear this. Awesome. So we are going to use the command sort to try and filter out our file. So I want us to go, sorry, I need to like give an example of one of the files in exercise data. So I will do one step back. No, two steps. So one step, then the second step, exercise data, and then I hit enter. So I have changed my directory to exercise data, and I want to just ls and see what's happening here. So I'm interested with this numbers.txt. So let's see what is in numbers.txt. Yeah, we use cut to display this. So we have 10 to just numbers, and then we want to try and sort. So we will do sort and then give the input that is the number. So if I hit enter, you see there's a bit of difference. So we see 10, 19, 2, 22, 6. So I asked myself, is it really sorted? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Let's try again. So we say sort minus n, and then we hit number, and then we hit enter. We see there's a difference. So a quick question. What do you guys think happened from the first sort command and the second sort command? Either you can share your comments in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and share.
Can I go?
Yeah, please, sure.
I think the first one, you sorted maybe the first character of the number. Yeah, and then the second one, you sorted the number as a whole.
A whole, exactly. And so now, thank you very much. And so why is it important to always look at the help page? Because now you get an explanation. So if you go to the -n option, so you'd always have the definition and then the different flags of sort. And I just want to look -n. Do we see -n?
It's at the top.
At the top, yep, here. So you want to sort your file and comparing according to the string numerical value, yeah? So I will clear this and just repeat again quickly that, and yeah, so you've sorted the first character, but really you want to sort the numerics in this file. So what you want to do, you want to give sort another flag -n in the numeric order. So from in an ascending order. All right, that sounds good. So we will go back to our, you remember the file that we saved the output of length, number of lines, and saved it as length.txt. So I want to go back to that. So it is in the protein folder. So if I ls, it's here. All right. So I want to sort. So if we just remind ourselves, what are the contexts, the number of files, but now I want to sort the numbers of these files in an ascending order. All right. So what I want to do, and then save it to another file. So what I do is I say sort minus n, and then the length, and then redirect this to another new file called sorted length.txt. All right. And then I hit enter. So if I ls, there's a new file called sorted. And just to be curious if we did the right thing. All right, now we have our sorted number of lines. Awesome. All right, so that is, of course, we have other options that I want you guys to like read the help page to see how you can try to sort your files. All right, so I will go back to the presentation and now introduce the redirect command. So normally we would have, so we've introduced you to the first command, which is the redirect. So the command, and then you want the output of these commands to be redirected to a file. All right. And then there is another option of appending the output of a command to a new file. All right. So I want us to do a bit of exercise and see the difference of these two, redirecting and append command. So we'll go back to the terminal and clear this. All right. So I want us to type into a terminal and say, and each command, I want us to type it twice. All right. So we will do echo hello. All right. And so if we do echo hello, you'll most definitely get the hello command. So it's telling the terminal, print hello, and that's what I want to see. So now the output of echo, I wanted to save it at, to save it. So I will redirect it, all right, and say hello, and say to a new file. So I say test1.txt, all right, and I hit enter. And then the next thing I want you to do is use the up button so that you can get the command and hit enter again. I want you to run it 2 times. All right. Now, yeah, I'll give it like 5 seconds so that I'm sure everyone has done that. And then the next thing I want us to do is the same command. All right, but this time I want you to add another greater sign and change the name of the file to test2.txt. So you can use the arrow button, try to modify the command. Sorry, I'm trying to be lazy. And then once this is done, hit enter. All right, and then use the arrow button again. Hit enter so that you can rerun the same command. Did I do that? Oh yeah, I did that. All right, so what do we see, guys? What do we see the content? Someone maybe might want to share in the chat or unmute themselves. What's the difference between these two? And maybe someone can explain what happened. Anyone? We still have more time, so we need to be interactive as possible. Yeah, someone is unmuting themselves. Yep. Anyone want to? Yep, go ahead. Thanks.
Yeah, so in cat text one, initially you said echo hello cat text one. So echo actually pastes the hello into text one. Then now, since you've already done that, you're now writing in the second command, you come here as well and you say hello echo into text two. And then you did that again, hello into text two. So here you use just one dash. One dash just means that whenever you do this, it overrides what you have previously. So your hello and your hello is just printed once. In this case, this is more like you add to a new line using the double greater than.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. So basically you overwriting and then the second one you're trying to append. Yep, that's awesome. Thanks. I can't really see the name, but thank you very much. So, okay. So most of the time when you're using these commands, you really want to be very careful. Do you want to save it for the first time or do you want to add some more content to our file? Awesome. So we're gonna do a bit of, I think this we've already done. No, it's not. So let's try this exercise out. I will give it 2 minutes. Yeah. No, we have not done the head command. Let me quickly do that before. All right. Sorry, guys. I will clear this and introduce 2 commands. So if let's use this file here. So the command that I want us to introduce is head. All right. And head, what head does is you want to view the start of a file. So say, for example, you want to give it -n and say, well, I want to see just two lines of my file, all right? And if I hit enter, well, before that, we should have looked what's inside Cuban. So Cuban, this is the whole file, but at times it has a lot of lines. So you only want to see the first 5 lines, all right? So you give it head -n5 and then the name of the file. And if you hit enter, so if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're viewing 5 lines of the file cuban.pdb. At times, you also are interested to look at what is at the bottom, at the end of the file, all right? In this case, you use tail. I mean, these commands are always intuitive. Head is the head and tail is at the end, the tail end. So -n, and then I say 5 again, and then the file name, I hit enter, all right? But now someone might be asking, if I do head alone without anything, and I say Cuban, but I hit enter, this will give you the first 10 lines, all right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines. And this would vary, I think, from languages. Now we're doing shell programming, but for those who are actually using R, for example, if you use head and a file, it will give you, I think, 5 or 6 lines without indicating how many lines you want to use. So this is really helpful when you have files that have got a lot of lines. All right. So let's go back to the presentation. And I give it how many minutes? Maybe 2, 3, or 5 minutes to just do this one exercise, and then we can share what the lines, as in what is the answer of this exercise. Please, you don't have to look at the content of this workshop. Just do it and just write in the chat what your answers. So I'll be waiting for like 2-3 responses, and then we can move to the next part. 5 minutes is okay. It's now 11:10. So 11:15, proceed. That's okay.
Yes, that's fine.
Cool. Yeah. So what you want to do is you want to go to where the animal.csv file is at, and then do the 2 commands. And let's see what animals subset.csv. In fact, I should stop sharing my screen and let one of you guys share the screen and just take us through this question. I think that would be cool, right?
Yeah, I think so. Michael, someone is asking, where are the files located?
Exactly. They're in the lesson, share lesson data, and then exercise data, animal count, and then you'll have the animal.csv. All right.
Obodo, if you have any problem, do you mind share your screen? And then maybe we
Yeah,
can help.
exactly. Mhm. Kingsley, are you comfortable sharing your screen so that you can help you go to the file it's located? Kingsley? Do you want to show us and just do the exercise for us? That's gonna be too much. Anyone wants to share the screen to just do the exercise? Ah, awesome, great. Mm-hmm. Who's sharing? Let me see.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Oh,
Proceed.
okay.
Awesome.
I ran this head file. You said it's head. So now I think it's stuck a bit. It's not coming. I don't know why.
Yeah. So the reason being, you have given the command, but you've not given it the input file. So what you wanna do, yeah. So what you want to do is hit Control C to like Control C.
Okay, let me just do Control C. Capture.
On the terminal, Control C.
Control C. Oh.
No. Just hit enter. Just hit enter again on the terminal.
Okay.
We're now seeing okay, you've disappeared.
Okay.
So what I'm saying, the Control C is trying to kill whatever you've missed out, and then to just repeat. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's head.
We cannot see your screen now.
Oh, you cannot see my screen. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Let me reshare. You see my screen?
Yes. Awesome. We do. Yeah.
Okay. You say head, right?
Yes. Yes. Minus
Five.
3. Minus 3. Minus 3. Yep.
Oh, I must say -3.
Yes. No. Sorry. 3, not minus 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
3.
And then
Then
the name of the file.
Animals.
Yeah, you can always hit tab to autocomplete.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then
Enter.
yeah, but now I want you to redirect it to a name called animals subset.csv.
Okay.
So I want you to save whatever output to a new file name.
Okay. Maybe, or like this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Animals. Animal. .csv.
.csv, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's okay. And then now you want to now save the tail, all right?
Okay.
Yep. Tail, and then say maybe 2, number 2. Yeah, but this time you want to, what do you want to do? Do you want to save the tail alone or add on top of the head command output?
I think
What do
we
you
can
want to do?
Let's do it, edit in this way.
Exactly.
Let's run it.
And run it. Yeah. So you want to now see what's inside the files.
Files.
What command do you use?
ls.
I mean whatever is in the file, in the
file.
the new file that you've created, animal.subset.
Okay, I think we must cd into animal.subset.
Exactly.
Then, cd.
No. Sorry. There's a chat that popped out. There's something that someone said cut. So what you want to do is you want now to see from the commands that you've done, what you want to do is now from these commands, what do I see inside the animal.subset?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would be the command to view your file?
Okay, I would do the, what is it? The L, okay, cd animals.subset csv, then maybe I'll do an ls and see the contents there.
Okay, all right, that's okay. Then now let's try to understand what are these commands. So if it is cd, I want to change my directory. But of course, I'm already at the directory that I want. So that wouldn't be the command.
Oh, the cat, I think we'll be using the cat.
Exactly. So the cat command. Yep.
These cat animals, ne?
Yes.
Subset.
Exactly.
.csv. Yeah, I think this
awesome. And then you hit enter. So you see now we have 5 lines, which would be 3 the start and 2 the end.
The end.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you very much for taking us through that.
All right, you're welcome.
Awesome.
Okay, can I stop sharing?
Yeah, for sure. And then I can now share my screen. Awesome. Good. All right, now you can see my screen. So now back to our question that we started about finding the fewest line. We have been using intermediate commands in getting the number of lengths and then sort the lengths. And then this can at times be confusing way of working, because sometimes you have a lot of files that are intermediate outputs of different files. So then what you want to use so that you can combine all these files into one and just get one output of something. So introducing now the pipe, now you want to pass out the output of a command to another. So just the idea of it is the first command is you have the first command, the output, and then you put the pipe sign, and then the output will be the input of the next command, all right? And then this next will give you another output. So you can do a lot of pipes in shell to have a lot of different outputs, inputs and outputs. So let's give it a try in the terminal. I will clear this. Yeah, just to confirm we're there. All right. So we have this sorted length. Yeah. So we want to combine the commands that go to this point. All right. So what we did is we said sort minus n and then the number of lengths. All right. And then we can pipe the output of sort, all right, to, for example, head minus n1. So what this will give us is the file that has the lowest number of lines, all right? In this case, if we hit enter, so the file is methane.pdb. All right, cool. So this is from the output. So assuming we want now to just get this output without getting this intermediate file, all right? Remember the first command we did was what is the word kind minus L, the lines, to count the lines of every file. So use star, all right? This is a whole topic of wildcards. And so you say anything that has an extension of PDB inside the directory that we're in, all right? And I want you to, the output of this command to be the input of sort. Okay, I will try to mute Dr. Yeah, Sam. So the output of this into sort minus n, all right? And then now after you sort them, I want now to see the output of the list number that is head, all right? Then I hit enter. You see now we have the output, and that's the powerful thing about pipes combining different tools, all right? And all right, so we can easily do that and then say save the output to say lengths, but this time we say new.txt. So remember, we didn't have to go to sorted lengths and then view the list. But if we hit that, we can easily save our length as only that. All right. So we will go back to the presentation and see if we have, yeah, we have this. So I don't want us to try doing this in our in our terminals, I want us to read and just pick an option that is correct. So in our Proton directory, we want to find 3 files which have the list of lines. Which command listed below would work? So just someone, even without doing the command, just reading the command and just understanding what output will happen. Yeah, and just pick the number and just tell us why you're choosing that option. Right, so 2 minutes to look at the options, and then someone can raise their hands or just share on the chat. What do you guys think? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Anyone wants to share what option?
Can I go?
Yeah, for sure. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah, it's in the chat. It's number 4, yes.
It's number 4. All right. So, so you say maybe you can just explain why, and why
Okay.
not option 3, 2, and 1?
All right, so option 4, we start off with the word count, and we're counting the lines, and we use the wildcard asterisks to take all the files in the directory, and then we sort the files, and from there we then display the top 3, which is, and since the sorting is done in ascending order, the top 3 will be the smallest numbers.
Awesome.
Okay, and yeah, I think the other 3 are not going to give you not going to give you that. So should I
So what?
Yeah,
sure. So what does 3 give us?
yeah, so 3 would give us the same at the beginning as number 4, but the only difference here is that you would first then get the top 3. Let me think. Yeah.
So you're saying you're counting the lines, all right? And remember, this is not sorted, all right?
Yeah.
So then you want to see, okay, what are the 3 lines that display from the WC command, all right? And then now you think of sorting them. Yeah. So see, that's the difference.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyone else? Number 1, what will number 1 give? I mean, if you're not so sure, you can just copy and, I mean, you can just type it and see what happens. Yeah. But this is just crazy, like a command and then redirecting it to another command, redirecting it to another command. So perhaps not the C command, a lot of errors. Awesome. That's good. Yep. So because we still have more time, I want us to introduce us to another command. Let me see if I have it in the presentation. Oh, we have another, yeah, we have another exercise. Thanks very much for sharing. Another 2 minutes to do this. Yeah, so what will happen is you need to go to the folder Let me can just quickly show you guys. So one step back and then another step back. Exercise and then animal count. All right. So this is giving an Chaimea, did you talk about absolute parts and relative parts?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so you wanna share about it so that it can be really, it can be, because I'm giving this is an relative part of where the animal count is. Yeah. So I can hit enter and say, if I say PWD, I have to clear this so that I can. So in the simplest way, so this is the absolute path. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Chaimea. And whatever I did is giving a relative path
Yeah, that's correct.
of the folder animal. That makes sense, guys?
Yes.
Good. So what I was doing is just being lazy, going 2 steps at the back. Yeah, you can even go 1 step forward, 2 steps, 3 steps. Sorry, backwards. Yep, apologies. Yep, so we're there. And then, of course, this file here, that's what we're dealing with. So I want us to do this command, all right, and redirect it to final.txt. And someone to explain step by step what happened until the end. All right, so give it 2 minutes for guys to type in. Yeah, and then one person like 2 minutes again to just try and explain step by step what happens with the pipe.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. Go ahead.
Yes, so with this one, with this pipe, I think it will just read the top 5, the bottom 3 as 1 in that CSV.
So
Then
what? So you said it will read first, okay?
yes, the top 5 and the bottom 3. So we are going to have like 8. Then sort them in the reverse order, then put them in under the file name final.txt. I think that's it.
Okay. So do people agree or disagree? So you're saying the file will have 8 lines? Yes or no? Nkosi,
Pardon?
does the final.txt have 8 lines or a different thing? So let me look at the chat.
I think it will have 8, the final one.
Okay, but guys are saying 3. So let's hear from either Brendan or Veron. So guys are saying 3 lines only, not 8. I don't know what's the difference. So maybe we can hear from them. Anyone wants to unmute themselves and just share what they think it's 3 and not 8? Why they think it's 3?
So can I go?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
All right. So when you do the head, minus N5 command, you are given 5 outputs. And then when you do the tail minus N3 command, you are then only given 3 outputs. So the 3 outputs you produce is the bottom 3 of the 5 outputs that were produced in the head minus N5 outputs.
Okay.
So that's why I think you will only have 3 outputs.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks. So remember, Nikosi, why it's not as he has explained. Just something that to add on the point, when you're dealing with output pipes, the output of one command is going to be the input of the next command. And now we have 5. And so these 5 lines will be the input of the tail command. And then we're saying out of that 5, I want to see the last 3. And then the last 3 is going to be the input of the sort minus R command. And then this at the end is what is going to be redirected at the final.txt in the reverse order. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I hope that is clear, right? Before I move to the next command. Nkosi, does that now make sense? Why it's 3 and not 8?
Yeah, yes, perfect. I said, oh, I switch off my mic. I said perfect. Well said.
Oh, no worries. Thank you very much. Awesome.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's now understandable.
Okay. So I realized I didn't have the presentation of CAT, so I'll just do it. Oh, sorry, I will swap to the presentation. Yeah, you can all see my presentation, right? Yep. You can see the terminal, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So I want us to I also want to introduce the command cut, and every time we want to do is just read about the cut command. So what it does, it prints selected parts of a line from each file to a standard output, and the different options when using the cut command. So we are using the animal.csv file. So if you want to look, view the file is, so you can see it's like a CSV file, but separated with commas. So this will be the date, the animal, and then maybe account or something. Yeah. And quickly, when we want to use cut, we want to now see, okay, we have how many columns? 1, 2, 3. So let us try and view what are the only contents of column 2. All right. So we want to cut that option and just view what is column 2. So we use cut, and then we say minus D. So before even that, I want to use two options, minus D and minus F. But before we do that, let's see what are the meaning. So if I say minus D, use delimiter instead of tab for field delimiter, all right? And minus F is the fields. In this case, these are actually the columns of that file. So I will clear this and say T, then I give it minus D. I say the separator of these columns is actually a comma. And then I'm interested with column 2, all right? And then that is the file, all right? And then I hit enter. All right, so maybe I also want to sort this output, all right? And I can say, I put the arrow and then I say, oh, the names in the column 2, I want to sort them, all right? So it will sort them alphabetically, all right? Pia, Dia, Oh, then I see, oh, okay, in my file, there are a lot of, there are places where there are two inputs with the same, we have 3 rabbits, all right? Okay, that's gonna be too much. So let me see, when I'm dealing with this file, I want to see what are the unique entries in my file, all right? So after sorting it, the output of sort, then I want to say, show me the unique values of this file. As I mentioned, these commands are normally very intuitive. Unique from the word unique, sort from the word sort. And I hit enter. I say, okay, so these are the only unique. All right. And then you say, okay, I want to also now find the how many, oops, sorry. If I say like that, does this make sense? Oh yeah, so how many unique files? So you add on to your pipe and say, now I want to see the unique. There are only 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So this is really when you have your own data set, you're trying to play around and just to figure out this experiment that was done. These are the results. What am I seeing? All right. And there are other commands that perhaps maybe we won't have the time to talk about today, but things like grep, all right, to just pick a certain text in a file, things like alk, very powerful. I think most of these commands are normally taught in advanced level, all right? Things like sed will try to manipulate your data to substitute certain things in your file, yeah? And that's how really powerful shell programming is. Do we have any questions regards to cat command? Before we move to the next part. Apologies, I'm not prepared, like maybe an exercise for the cat command. Yeah, but I mean, if we have any questions, we can share. Any questions? Yes, no, maybe. How different is grep from unique? Yeah, so for example, let's just give it an example, all right? So grep, I'll just do it, Bismarck, and then we can see the difference. So for example, we want to grep entries that have deer in our animal, right? And then I hit enter, all right? So what you want to, so grep will just tell you, these are the character that I want. I only want that one in the file. So it will give you that. If it's not there, for example, if we say 1, it says nothing. So the unique will just tell you like unique animals, and will give you entries without repetitions. All right, in this case, we have deer, but of course we have entries, 2 entries that have deer. So we want to see only the unique entries in a file. That answers your question. Autovon? All right, cool. All right, any other question? Before I move to the next part. We have 1 minute on top of the hour, then we go to the next. So we'll just give like 5 minutes break until 10:50 your time, so that we can go to the next step, that is loops. That's okay.
I think that's fine, Micheal.
Awesome. So 5 minutes. We made 10:45. I will now wait. No, 10:50. Sorry, guys. I will now stop sharing and then pause the recording. Oh, sorry. I didn't record that part. Fortunately. Okay, so moving forward, so we want to list the number of the first 5 lines of each file in this directory. So we will list the names of the directory. So the first one is Basilic. Okay, oh yeah, I've not given it an option 5, and then the files. All right, then I hit enter. So what is displayed in the terminal is for each file 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the second file and the third file. All right, you don't want to use this. You don't want to use this command as I've written it if you have 20 files. So that is going to be a mess on your terminal. All right. So I have to go to that. Okay, so instead, what you want to do is you want to do a for loop to print these 5 lines and maybe save them into another file. All right, and you don't want to see this whole outputs in your terminal. So what you want to do, you want to use a for loop. Yeah, so for, all right, and we say the element, which is the variable, and say I want 5 lines. So I can just say 5, all right, in. Okay, so I can say I can list the number of files. All right, so the next one is Niacha, and then and then because I'm writing this for loop in a terminal, I want to use semicolon to try and separate all the lines. So remember in the presentation, we have, we have this part. So this can be written in a script. I will show that. So the first line, 4, then semicolon, because you're writing it in a straight line. All right. So you say semicolon, and then you want to say do. All right. What do I want to do? Is I want to say head minus n 5. All right. But this time, because I gave a variable 5, that is what I wanted to give it as an input every time it loops through these files. All right. So for the first time, it will do Basilic, and the second time this one, and the second time Unico. All right. And then semicolon, and then I say, oh, all right. So I can say save all the files, whatever I get, to file called file names.txt. All right. And then semicolon, and then I say done. Any questions so far before you hit enter? If something is not clear?
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Do you need to put down all of the file names that you have?
Not necessarily. We can do it 2 ways and see what happens.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So I hit enter. Wow. Okay. There's something wrong. Okay. No. Do head minus 5. Okay. Do we see any error? Oh, okay. I see there's a $sign that is not supposed to be here. you just give it a name 5, all right? Yeah, so now I hit enter, all right? So if I ls, I see the file name here, all right? So I say cut file names, I hit enter. You see now I have the same output as here, but this time I have them saved in a file. All right, so back to your question. So I will clear this. So assuming you have a lot of files and you say, no, I can't give a list of all these files, it's gonna be too much. So what you wanna do is go back to your command. This time I want to give it as 1, the file name, all right? But now here in the list, I do an asterisk, I say everything that is in the folder, all right? So I can do that, but I need to specify it's in the file, in the directory. Let's see if this works. And then I can go back to the details one by one. All right, so I will clear this and go back to the command. So what I'm saying is 4, 5, yeah, in, this is like the relative path. So dot slash means where I am, the directory that I'm in, all right? And then the asterisk is for everything in that file, in that folder, all the files in that folder, and say, do this kind of action. I need only the top 5 lines, all right? And then save it to this. So every time you iterate, append the output to a file called file name 1.txt. And once you're done, you hit done, and that's enter. All right, makes sense? Okay, so I want us to do the same thing, yeah, but this time we will introduce the idea of, there's a chart, let me see. Yes, it's the variable name. So from the presentation, the element here is always the variable name. So I gave it 5 because I want to be to give a name that actually will make sense for me, because 5 is something that I want to get out of it. If I want to list, maybe I can say for list, but it really doesn't matter. You can just write anything else. Awesome, Lukman. Okay, so now I want to introduce the aspect of scripts. Yeah, so the same action that is done for this, but now you want to, for example, you are working in a high performance computing, and most of you here are doing wonderful things. The HPC, high performance computing, you want to just throw your for loop because you have millions of files. You don't care what time they will end. So I want to do a script, submit it to the supercomputer, and just go have my coffee and lunch and come back and just get outputs. I mean, that's always the life of people doing computing. All right. So we will start by creating, I will do this, creating, we used Nano before, Chaimea explained to us, and then we say 5 lines .sh. So sh is an extension for all bash scripts, all right, because we're doing bash, and this varies when, depending on the programming language. For Python is py, right? For R is .r if it's an R script. So in this case is .sh. All right. So when you open your bash script, the first thing you want to do is create a shebang to tell the bash compiler this is where the bash is, and I want you, the command that comes after this shebang, that is the shebang line. I don't know why they call it shebang. Maybe someone in the room knows why. I'll pose this this question to either Ruth or Chaimea. Maybe they know why they call it shebang. Chaimea, you know why?
Actually, no, I don't know, but I will try to look for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to always know why these names are given to these kind of things. Yeah, but anyway,
Yeah.
so this part is to show us, okay, do we have a space really? No, I don't think so. No, we don't have a space. Okay, and then now we want to do our for loop. So we say for 5 lines, all right, that is the variable in. So we'll use this because we've learned that. Right now, we don't need to have the semicolon because you're doing the next step. And I say do, all right? And then if you hit enter from the presentation, you have to do like do and then enter indentation, like the space. Then I want it to say head minus n, all right, $5 5 line, all right, and then append the output to file name 3 or 2.txt, and once you're done, say done. All right, so let me save and check out my chat for question, and then Control O to save it, and then I exit. All right, it's there. Okay, so I'll exit this and check my chat. Oh, sorry. If I'm a bit too fast, please stop me and I can just reduce my voice. I'm really sorry. So where did I lose you, Crystal? Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, I'll open the file again. All right. Sorry guys, just stop me, like feel free to speak. And okay, from the beginning of Nano. All right. Okay. And just you realize it's a direct message, so you want to like reply to everyone so that someone can notify me. So what I try to do is I will try to mute the person talking. All right, now we are good. Chaimea, let me make you the co-host so that you can maybe mute anyone who doesn't talk and they forgot to mute themselves.
Okay,
all right?
sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're the host now. Cool. So what I try to do is ls minus l, I created this file called 5line.sh. So what I'm trying to do is I have whatever command, the for loop that I've written on the terminal, this time I wanted to write it in a bash script, all right? And I was giving it like a scenario where you want to execute this command, but because you have 1,000 of files in your folder, you don't want to wait for the for loop to happen and you can watch. So what you want to do is submit it maybe to a high performance computer, and then just have your way and come back and find your results. Of course, right now the for loop is having a few files and a few tags, so it finishes very fast. But in the case if there's a lot of commands given in the for loop. So you'd expect it to take a lot of time doing an iterative process. And now I was introducing
Yes, I think Michael had some connection issues. Just let me check him again. Guys, I'm trying to reach out to Michael, but meanwhile, you can just redo what he just showed you.
wow, did I lose you?
Yes, hi, Michael.
Sorry,
It's fine.
I'm back. I think there was, I don't know what happened. Maybe power went out and then the Wi-Fi disappeared. So let me confirm if I'm connected to the right internet, okay, now it's good. Oh, sorry guys. At some point I was just talking to myself. I'm like, what's really happening?
It's fine.
So where did I lose people?
I think you were talking about running the bash script.
Okay, did I show you why I'm writing bin bash?
Yeah, you wrote that you've done this. So
Uh-huh.
now you just need to execute it, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So now just to like show this part, why because this might change in different system, this line exactly. So I was trying to say the first line, and then I did this command here. Yeah, and said which bash, and then it tells me where my bash is. So depending on your system, where bash will be installed, it's why we have the shebang line. All right. Yeah. Okay, and then I write the for loop. All right. So there are a few people who were saying they got lost in writing the script. I don't know if now they've written the script before we execute it. Yeah, maybe on the chat. Kaya, Crystal, are you now okay? Crystal, are you there? All right, maybe you want to send the message to everyone so that not a direct message, if you don't mind. Yeah, so that people can also see. Okay, cool. So I will exit this, all right, and try to run the bash. All right, so I will say sh, then that's how we sh, and then we call the file, all right, and hit enter. All right, so let's ls. So there's this file here, file 2 is created. Cuts. Oh, something wrong. 1, 2, 3. Hmm. 1, 2, 3. And then it gives me everything. What's really happening here? It wrote the heads of the text file as well. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know what's happening. Let me nano again. Sorry guys, let's just try and fix this pretty quickly. And let me give it,
Yeah, in the chat, there's a solution to why this is happening.
it's in the same directory. Okay. Let's try and put the list of it. Yeah, maybe we can try that. Yeah, that would be okay. And just try to specify which, all right, then give it 3. Cool. So Control O, X, and then clear, and try to, so there are 2 ways. You can also do a dot slash to run the script. Permission denied. So this is the error that I wanted us to have. All right. So, and maybe Chaimea, maybe the next time we're doing this, we need to introduce the permissions. All right.
Yes.
So I'll just touch on it. So this file here, you see there are some wordings here when you do ls. Yeah. So normally the first is yourself. All right. And then remind me, Cham, the second one is the group, and then the third portion is others. All right. So guys, this is a bit confusing. Maybe we need to introduce the whole thing, but just to tell you, the R is to mean read, write, and X is normally execute. All right. So you start with the user having 2 rights, and then the group having only the right to read, and the other people using this computer are only supposed to read. All right. So most of the time you find that me as the user, I can't execute this file, and that's why I see permission denied. All right. So there's a command called chmod. I would like you to maybe write it down and read about it, and say 755. So if you say 755, you can say 70, depending. All right. So you want 7 to mean the user to have all the rights to read, write, and execute. And maybe the group to only read and write. Yeah. And so the file name is 5. And then you hit enter. So if we ls, you see now there's a bit of changes here. The owner of this, the user of this file, I can now read, write, and execute this bash script. All right. And now if I do dot arrow and then 5, and I hit enter, it's actually executing. So if I ls, we had changed the file to file name. So let's see if we've actually done that. And we see now we've corrected. Now we have our file name having the 3 numbers. Don't worry, guys, about permission. It's a whole topic of giving rights and why it's important for people to always limit other people on accessing their files, especially if you're using a computer, a high performance computer, and you have a lot of users using the same computer. All right, I think we'll have an exercise. Yeah, because I feel I've talked too much. That's okay. So just to pause and now reflect whatever we've learned. So one question would be, how would you write a loop that echoes all 10 numbers from 0 to 9? Okay, there's a chat. Okay, there's a cheat sheet called a chat. Thanks, Chaimea. Can we have maybe some few minutes to 2 minutes to do this first question? Yep. Or if there's any questions, if we've lost anyone. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's interpret your error. I will stop my presentation. Do you mind sharing, Evelyn?
Hey, I joined with the 2 devices, so what I'm writing is on this device, so I can't share my screen as such.
So what exactly is the error?
So in full, it says bash colon dot slash 5-line sh bin bash bad interpreter, no such file or directory, but it is there.
Okay, did you write the shebang? Did you direct where the...
I did.
Okay, just do which bash and see where the bash is. What does it give you?
Bin bash.
Bin bash, all right. So I mean, it's really hard to know, like, to see. Not if we can't see, then it's really hard to interpret.
Can you open your Nano, your 5-line?
Okay, I will do that. I will do that. We'll share my screen. So you say you have it exactly like that.
Slash this. I had forgotten a semicolon somewhere.
A semicolon. Okay. Where exactly?
Slash, I mean, not a semicolon, a slash.
Oh, this slash here. Okay, yeah. So you see now the importance of this line, yeah?
Yes.
Try it now and see if it runs before we exit.
Oh, we're fine. Okay, thank you.
It's working. Awesome. Good. All right. So we're having, yeah, let me stop sharing. Nkosi, you want to try your answers and see if it works.
I'm facing some difficulty in network connecting the terminal because I'm running Ubuntu in a virtual box inside the Mac.
Okay.
Yes, so now it's some bit
It's
of
heavy.
awkward. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that, but I hope you're following. I see you say for I in range 11. Let's see if that works.
Okay.
So you can take me through your code. Yeah. So you say for I in range 11, and
Yes.
then
Print I.
print I. Okay, in this case, for bash we say echo.
Echo.
Yeah, then we say $I.
Okay.
All right.
$I. Yeah, okay.
And then that's okay.
Yeah.
Is
that's
that
okay.
it?
Yeah.
You don't want to tell it.
Oh, done.
Okay,
Then,
but to give a semicolon again.
Yes.
So hit enter.
You're missing a do as well.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, do that. It gives us this, a non-attribute. What do you think would be the problem?
Okay, let's remove the range, maybe
And do what?
for I in, okay, that in just put square brackets, maybe 0, 10 and see.
0 and 10. Remember, they have to be, okay, so we're having, this is becoming interesting. So you say 0?
0,
9,
10.
10.
Yeah, and see.
Not found. So I mean, this is the most important part here. Like, what is the list that you want to loop? All right. So there's a comment on Kingsley. So let's try Kingsley's option and see if it works. All right. Kingsley, do you want to take us through? I can stop sharing my screen. Yep, Kingsley.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, network is bad. All right. Okay. So I'll try to write it. So in the chat, Kingsley writes phone number in $. You'd want to explain this part here, the sequence minus F, and then you put it like that, and then say 01 G 09, and then you say do echo $num. Done. You want to explain this part? Yes, hit enter. Yeah, it worked. Do you want to explain this, Kingsley? To your colleagues before I give a simpler way of doing this. This would be a cool way of doing it. So that part allow, all right, and sec allows to print the following numbers. So this sec would mean sequence, all right? And I think the percentage will say from start 0 to 1, all right? And then 0 to 1, and then do that, all right? So you'd also think of saying for number in, and just give a list of the numbers. I mean, this would be, so you say for 0, 1, this is the list, all right? And then I want you to do echo $num and then done. Yeah, and then that's also works, but this is also a cool way of doing it. But if you're a novice in shell scripting, this would be the easiest way of understanding it. So for this list of numbers, yeah, do that. That's good. Let's see if we have another question. Yes, we do.
Question.
Yes, please.
Say you are writing till 100. Would you write all the zeros to 100?
No, of course not.
Okay. Is there a
Yeah.
simpler way?
Yes. Can I? So we can use what?
That one of 100, we should just modify the first one that we
Exactly.
that Kingsley.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. So we'll do this and say 100. You do not want to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, we can't
Sorry.
reinvent it.
Sorry, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. You just want to. It should be that way. Yeah, you can even use a counter. Wow. Now this is confusing.
No, I think
Sorry.
don't okay.
There's someone who brought in a counter, which is really awesome as well. So you
Hello?
say, yep.
Hi. Yes,
Hi.
what you should do is the same command, but the formatting section I just included just to say if I want to go from, if sometimes you want to write in different formats, say you want to write in 3 different significant figures. So that part you shouldn't modify. You're modifying 0 to 100. So
Oh,
you should take
yeah.
that out. Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
So you can just leave
exactly.
it as 01. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 01 instead of 09.
Yeah.
And then 0 to 100.
You said 0 what?
Oh, 01 percentage
Oh,
01.
1. Oh,
Yes.
to mean zeros and ones. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we have. See, I've even learned something today. I didn't know about the formatting part. It's really cool. Yeah, so the sequence to be a format of zeros and ones, and I want 0 to 100. Thank you for that. Yeah, so even 50. Awesome, that's really cool. Yeah, and then there's one that has a counter. Yeah, so you want to say 4, then I give it a variable 0, and then now do 10 plus plus. And now this will just go Velon. This I think will just do it until infinity because you've not given it 0.2 or anything less than 10, then so 1 to 10. That's okay. Cool. So we will. All right, so maybe quickly, what's the effect of this? So if we cracked this, then this would be easier for most of us. All right. So for alkanes in our folder protein directory, you want to echo. So maybe before doing, without doing this for loop, what do you guys think would be the effect of the for loop? Just to understand the coding, the code part. Someone wants to say something? Okay, allows you to read all the PDB file. Okay, and then the next portion of the command, Kinsley, it says echo and then it says cut. So what would be the effect? Yeah, echo prints, yes. And then so will this file at the end have all the files in the folder or the last folder or the last name of the file? Yes, Brendan, thank you. Yep, it's the last number. I mean, the last name of the file. Awesome. So let's see if we have some more exercises. What about this? Just to understand the code, not to even to do it.
Okay, for file name in C, you are iterating in C with the iterator file name, then you list all the file names in C.
So in C, does it mean all files with C in the naming?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks, Kinsley. So every file in that folder that has C, then you want to loop through those files. All right, good. Next. What about this? For data file in everything that has PDB, do cut that, and then I think this would be different from the other one. Anyone? I'm looking at the chat as well. Yes, thank you. Oh, so it will join all the files into a single PDF file name. Awesome. So, all right. So now I want us to do this. So let me check time, is still within the time. So I want us to go to the creatures directory, all right? And try to do this for loop. And let's share what we have. And if we get an error, how do we modify this? Maybe if we can, I can just do it by myself. Let's see what happens. So, so when the, sorry, creatures, so creatures ls, all right, and it says for file name sorry, for file in, I will do that and just copy. In that and that and that. So it says do head minus n, let's say 10, and then file name. All right. And then I pipe it to tail minus 5. All right, and then I say done. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Head not spelled well.
Okay, head.
Yeah.
Yep. So we see this. Let me clear this so that you can have it up there. So what's happening here? So I think we want it to be interactive. So I'm opening my chat and see if, yep. So guys, what do you think? What is happening? Head cannot open this, and how do we correct? No file named that. Unicorn, okay, yeah, that's true. All right. So let's try and try to modify this. Okay, there's no red and purple. And let's try to remove these quotes. All right, all of the quotes. So what has happened? I'm checking my chat as well. Yes, they don't exist, so cannot open. But I see something happening here. Yeah, the others does not exist. So that's the fun bit of the for loop. So you check the first one, oh, there's nothing. It drops in an error. The second one, it's not there. The third one, if there's something, then it will execute the command. And that's why we have the last part of the portion. Yeah, so we go to the last part of this presentation where it is, we're going to introduce something called, nested loops. So here, what you want to do is you want to do a for loop inside a for loop. Yeah, and with the name nested. All right. So you say for species in the list of species that you're talking about. And then what you want to do is do for, and then you say temperature in the numbers of temperature that you want. But this time you want to say, when you take the first loop of the list of species, make a directory of the name of the species and also the first name of that, and then done. And then if you go pick the first name, does the second part of the nested loop, 30 Cuban, 37 Cuban, 40, I mean Cuban 40, is just the directory name, right? So you're looping through the name of the species, but when you're looping through the name of the species in each occurrence, you also want to do another for loop, creating directories of the species name and all the temperature degrees, 25, 30, 37, and 40. And then you're done. And then you say done for this for loop and done for the other for loop. Yeah. That makes sense? Any questions from that? Yes, no. Understand it might be a bit basic for some of us. Yeah. But of course, we will get our hands dirty on the Python aspects in the last 3 days. We will do more of programming. Yeah. Is the concept of nested loops make sense? Or if there's any clarification someone wants to get? All right. I will take that as a no. All right. So I will share. Some of you had mentioned that they want a presentation of this. So there's a bit of assignment on the materials that were shared. So there's this part of Nellie's pipeline check. So this first link is for pipes and the second link is for loops. All right. And then another thing I'd like us to do for our tomorrow's session, we're going to tackle GitHub. Yeah. So I'd like us to create GitHub accounts if you don't have any yet. All right. I will check into my chat. Ruth had shared a link on how to do that. So there's actually a YouTube video to try and simplify things for us on the chat. All right. I've shared that in the chat. So now I will stop my my screen and take any questions if we have. Thank you very much for your time. I think we're like 2 minutes on top of the hour.
Are we done now?
Yeah, we are done. We are done.
Oh, okay. I would like to say thank you very much, guys, for giving us this training. We really appreciate it, even though both of you are volunteering today. So it means a lot to us. Don't get tired. Yeah,
Of course.
maybe after the training, we'll seek more trainings so that we can also help you in such work if there's another training.
Awesome. Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. That's good.
Thank you.
Yes, I think I'll hand it over to Rin. If there's, before that, maybe if there's any questions or.
Michael, I want to say now thanks to Greta and Nkosi for thanking, our two trainers. Really, it's phenomenal that you guys are volunteering your time and your knowledge. And I want to then definitely invite anybody else sitting in the audience today that you guys, we want to pull you in and to make you involved with the Carpentries. Please go check out their website, become involved with their activities. It's amazing stuff the Carpentries are doing, by Africa, for Africa, and all of this knowledge, you should be able, like this morning, Kingsley Abodo was saying, he's in here to come and check to see how does it work. Then he can make sure that this knowledge and other stuff that Carpentry will offer, all kinds of library carpentry, software carpentry, all kinds of stuff, can then basically go into his community and all of your communities. So we want all of you to become champions to basically make sure that you spread the knowledge. I don't know if anybody of you saw Neil Tirok's talk, the TED talk, where he said, may the next Einstein come from Africa. And then in another talk, he added, and may she be a woman, who knows? So if all of you can please help keep that flame, that dream alive by sharing knowledge. And this is really actually a big thank you to Michael and his colleague today for volunteering. And let's get more of you guys involved so that we make big steps in South Africa and also Africa. And also just one other thought I want to leave you just for the moment is, what Daphne Singo said also in her TED talk. She said, education is the husband that will never let you down. And there's a long story behind that. It's a beautiful TED talk. It's just saying, let's empower people with knowledge.
That's true.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for taking the lead.
Thanks, Rin. Thanks,
Thank you.
Rin, also for checking us all over the weekend and ever since the preparation of the workshop.
You are most welcome. You will see my phone is open 24 hours, so anytime, I'm in a service position for you all. Okay. So are you guys done for the day, or are you just taking a break now?
Well, Chaimea did done the session, and I did 2 hours for my session, so that was okay for the day.
So you guys are done.
Yes, we're done.
Look at that. You are like way earlier than scheduled. It just shows you how I knew that, listen, my people are the best. Okay. Our community are the fastest. I knew that everybody would be able, to be able to upload the software, and look how fast you all went through this training. So now you all can still go put in another full day somewhere else.
Exactly. I mean, the participants are well versed with some of the things. Yeah. So it was really easy to just walk through, and that was
That's
really
fantastic.
awesome.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, I'm very proud of our community. I'm the self-appointed protector of this audience.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think just a reminder for the people for tomorrow's sessions, we need all to have our GitHub pages or accounts ready for the GitHub session. And of course, a more in-depth Python course the last 3 days, because this was just the introduction part of Bash. Yep.
Okay, fantastic. That's wonderful. Okay, if anybody needs any help, you guys are all on the WhatsApp group, so let's use that for our central point of communication. So I'm available, and again, thank you to our two volunteers today. Thank you for imparting knowledge. I really appreciate it. And guys, then this is perfect timing to finish at noon, go and have something to eat, and continue with the day.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Take good care. All the best. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Keep well. Take care. All the best.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.